Bill now. It's recording.
All right, as always, we're gonna start with bucket fill, something good. Anything that's positive. Who wants to start?
I got engaged.
We just sent a beautiful picture and then I heard all about it. So congratulations. We can't wait for the party. It's gonna be
I know,
exciting.
And for business, we've been doing really good with open houses and gaining clients that way.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
People last 3 weekends that we've done open houses.
Especially last year, I think the weather definitely.
8 and 10, on those are high-end homes, 8 and 10 groups through. How many people are going for it?
It is really interesting. I've heard that theme a lot, that open house is a lot of unrepresented, like, people coming in and a lot of them. It's not just like one or two, it's like they're pretty
This
big.
weekend with this weather, it's gonna be obviously.
I mean, when you think about it, a lot of those agents probably are no longer working with someone from either they stopped looking last year or whatnot, that it's a great opportunity to be able to capitalize on it and go back to all of the buyers that you were working with that their contracts may have expired, because they're probably doing the same thing.
I remember from my past, just before I got into real estate, I would always go and look, and it
Yeah.
would always be in the springtime, you've got that spring fever, and you want to
Yeah.
see what's out there, and so I tended to look without my realtor because I didn't want them to know that I was seriously looking.
Yeah.
So,
You didn't want those automatic emails.
yeah,
Oh,
but yeah, so definitely, make your phone calls and check the agents out there strolling around, because I'm sure they are.
Well, to Scott's point, you mentioned this multiple times, like, call people up and be like, let's just get you signed for the year. How do you say it? You say it way better. How do you say it?
Yeah, no, yeah, as far as, your potential buyer this year, I mean, if anything comes up, get your contract all done. Let's fire up your email all signed and that out of the way.
awesome. Chris, I saw your hand go up.
Yeah, I just want to kind of bucket fill a couple people in the office. It's just been like super positive. Like on Monday, I couldn't figure like a search out on the MLS and I was like getting really frustrated and I just popped in Scott's office and he's like, oh, you gotta fix this. I was like, I feel like an idiot because I've done this a million times, but he was just super receptive. And then, oh, Heather, she like blew up my Instagram, like liking all my stuff, which is awesome. That was great. Like, I'm like, yes, Heather, go. Like, keep it up. Like, let's go. And I think you were even like on vacation too, so that was good.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I do that sometimes. I try to do that. I
That's
really
good.
do try to do that.
That's not a bad thing.
I love
Good
that you
thing.
just bucket filled her about social media.
Yeah, that's
because
awesome.
That is really a strength of hers.
Jamie will sometimes be like, I'll go.
Oh, you guys on social media for the first time in 2 weeks,
Yeah.
it's like 85 likes.
Alex is there. Seriously, he'll like not do anything like on my
He
profile,
does it,
and he'll just like boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
80 messages. It's like, okay, thank you.
That's awesome. Super awesome.
Oh, goodness.
We can fill in this middle part if
I
anybody
know.
wants to, if you guys feel like it or not. What else? What else is good? Other bucket fills. Rick, I saw your hand go up.
Yeah. We wanted to thank the Desert team, all of them, for selling us 2 duplexes pre-market. So those are now pending. So it worked out for everyone. It was a difficult negotiations, but very respectful, and it worked out great. Pretty excited.
Cool. Wow.
One of the buyers that I have, February, the townhome and the sewer line, 12 feet in, had like a major collapse. But the perk is, HOA takes care of everything sewer line, and it's under the next unit. So it's nothing to do with the fire. So we made someone upset. But
They're no longer getting that listing, but someone might want to talk.
Oh.
That's awesome. I mean, kind of.
Kind of.
Like, you know.
HOA is covering it all for them. It's really good.
Perfect.
Amy, I have an additional one for the desserts. I just wanted to do one more, specifically for Courtney. So I used to go to Jacob like every day, cause I have questions about technology.
Heard.
I know.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't know if anyone has experienced this, but when you enter the emails into showing time, like 50% of the time, it's like invalid email address. I'm like, what the heck? Is it because it's Yahoo, blah, blah, whatever it is? Like she comes in and 1 second later, she's like, there's a little space before if you copy and paste or a little space after and it'll be invalid. I'm like, oh my goodness, it's been like 2 years of frustration. You know, and like in an instant, she just had it solved. So that's the tip anyway, if you have the same problem. Maybe everyone else fixed it already, but
Love that.
that's,
So you can't copy and paste passwords.
there you go.
Good thing
Maybe
you
that
learned
there
in
solves that
Buckettville
problem
then.
too. Thank you very much.
Meeting's done.
Wendy.
You know, you ever had the feeling like you're doing all the things and nothing's happening? And
Yes.
then all of a sudden you start getting phone calls. And it's really positive, you know, like the lady who calls and says, actually, we want to buy a quad and it's the first of many. And if we get a good relationship, we'd like to get so many. And then we get then her son wants to buy and something else, so I'm out showing out. Yay.
That's awesome.
Oh,
That's definitely a positive.
What else? What else is good?
Angie.
Hi,
Hi.
how are ya?
See you.
Stop by and say hi and, miss, all of you that I do know. I'm looking forward to get to know all of you that I don't know. So, but, we just, closed on, our, listing. And, picked up 2 new buyers and, hopefully, another listing.
so for those of you that don't know Paige, he is Wendy's assistant.
And Brahma's, culture, referral resource.
Yeah, a very, very long time experienced broker, so.
So, anyways, for people that do not know me, I am Paige and I've been, in real estate for 17 years. Been with, I do have a broker license. I love Keller Williams. I love our leadership. They are amazing. So looking forward to getting to know all of you, but I gotta run.
I have to say this before you go. So he's the founder of Dwelling. So, well, after my dad, but, we close tomorrow on the purchase of a house that we sold their house today, but the house they're buying tomorrow, and we made the offer on it in October.
Yep.
Was when we first made the offer. It has been a long road, so this is definitely a good thing for Rocket Building.
Awesome.
Nice meeting you all.
Anything else?
Oh.
I think you have something.
Hang on, I put it on there, so, so it's surprise drawing.
She surprised me as well.
So we just want to bucket fill the people who have been partaking in the 66-day challenge of lead generation, right? So if you lead gen for an hour or more a day, you can put your name on a slip and then put it in this space that's sitting close to Lydia's desk. So we just thought it'd be a good opportunity to, it's been a month, to reward somebody who's been doing the thing. for a
What's the
month.
grand prize gift or grand prize?
The grand prize at the end of the 66 days is a $500 gift card.
Did you guys hear that?
$500 gift card of your
That's
choice.
Yeah.
So we'll get a $500 gift card to whatever you would like, whether or not it's Delta, Visa, whatever it is. So
Today, it's just gonna be a $10 one, but you don't know when we're gonna do this, so you gotta get your names in here. All right.
Exactly.
Rick Brahma. I was like, it's one day of prospecting that he got to put in there. Great.
5 in there.
Hey, his 5 days adds up to 1 hour.
All right, so you're gonna be going to Candy's office, to collect your prize after this
Fantastic.
meeting.
Right.
All right, February training calendar is out. Things are gonna be shifting a little bit with the training. So every Thursday, we're doing collective training still. We'll be here or the other offices. And then on Tuesdays, the trainings will be here in our market center for our agents only. So we are gonna be focusing on buyer contracts, coming into February. So we'll be doing the contracts the first week. And then we are gonna have the 13th, right? It will be on there once we find the person that's doing that, is the buyer actual, mock consultation. So we'll do contracts first with our broker Kevin, and then we'll do the actual consultation the next week. March will be the same thing where we do the listing contract, and then we'll do a mock listing presentation the second week. We do still have a mega agent interview, which is Paige Gibson and Edina on the 20th. And then we are gonna be out of town. Leadership, Heather and I, and some of us agents are gonna be at family reunion that last week. And then we have our award ceremony on Valentine's Day, the 14th. What time is that at again? It is going to be at 1 o'clock. So we're not gonna have a team meeting that day. We'll have kind of appetizers beforehand. Grab those. Yep, grab those at 12:30, sit down, we'll have awards, and then kind of celebrate the rest of the day. Do you guys have questions around that at all? It will be in the market center.
Only 3 people have signed up, so please sign up.
That's Lydia's question. Could you please sign up?
Register. Some fun awards, good time. We'll have a picture taking station in the media room with your awards and should be a good time.
Yeah, it's always fun. It's always fun to kind of see where everyone's at and celebrate your successes for the year. Then we have something new. We're gonna do a pickleball happy hour. We normally do an ice fishing event either January or February, and last year we were unable to do that because the ice melted, and this year we now have 50-degree weather in January. So, instead of then fully planning that and then canceling it, we decided to shift a little bit and do something fun, on Wednesday, February 21st. It's from 3:30 to 5:30. It's at Pints and Paddles, right? And then we have the courts for a 2-hour period of time, right? So you don't have to play. You can come and just like watch people play. I mean, there might be costumes, there might be a theme. I don't know. I'm really excited about it. So whoever wants to talk about theme, I'm in. Wendy?
Now, if people don't know how to play pickleball, will there be people to teach them?
Got you.
I don't know how to play pickleball
I
either.
know how to play pickleball, but if I didn't know, I love pickleball. But if I didn't know, would somebody?
Someone would be
Yeah, I've
there
never
to
played
teach them.
before.
And I think there will be all levels of competitiveness for all of those that join. Some will just like to have fun. Some are gonna come like dodgeball. Like,
So you have to maybe.
yeah, you'll have to pick your poison, but it's gonna be a good time. So, do we have a sign up for that?
We don't, but I can make one.
So we're gonna actually do a sign up just so that we can kind of gauge who's all coming. So look for that as well to sign up for pickleball. Who's excited about that?
I'm pumped.
Like, I'm really excited about it. Okay, cool.
I don't think we've ever had
Awesome.
to do it.
Oh, what was that? I think it's like tennis shoes because you can actually rent the paddles there. So you don't, if you have a paddle, you can bring it. If you don't have a paddle, you can rent them there. I think it's like $5 or something for it. Okay, so we also know who's obviously super competitive. We got 4 paddles. Oh, this is gonna be so great. Also, moving forward, if there's anything that you want to do as an office, please let us know so that we can get something scheduled. There is going to be a kickball tournament, in June or July. That is,
Hey, Kami, who won the last,
we did,
yeah,
we did.
who was the only team that had never played in the tournament
Well,
before?
so the
you-
history of the kickball tournament is when I was in a different office. That was something we did with Edina all the time. So when I joined this office, I still wanted to play kickball because I'm kind of a child and really competitive. So we ended up doing a competition with the Lakes office, Edina and Elk River. And it was pretty intense. I'm not gonna lie.
And they were
Like,
very unhappy at the end.
they
of the
were
day.
very upset that we
They were
won, and it was so
not
glorious.
losers.
And so, we're gonna win again this year. We might do some you know what it was like, cause you were at Minneapolis at that time. It was fun. It was super
Rub
fun.
it in.
But that's, what did you
Now
say?
you're on our way to win.
Being the winning team.
It's okay. We've gained you and now you're on the winning team. Like, it's fine. That will be later in the year, but if there's other things that you guys want to do, let us know, because we'd like to add them to the event list and have fun.
Should there be a traveling puppy?
I think there should be. I think there should be. Like medals, and I'll just wear it every time there's a collective meeting.
Yeah, that's.
All right, moving on.
You wanna go over your class tomorrow?
Yes, we do have a class here tomorrow. So it's A to Z, for expires and for sale by owner. So it's essentially how to get the numbers, where to get the numbers, what's the dialogues for those phone calls, and then what's the follow-up. So when we talk A to Z, it's really from start to finish. And it'll give you options that there are in like our smart plans for those for sale by owner and expired listings. So as the market's been going on, they're becoming more prevalent. Whereas in the previous years, there weren't a ton of them, to really kind of make it worth, agents to do that as part of their lead gen, but there's more and more, coming there. Anyone signed up for this class, actually? Wendy is, Elena is. 11. So there will be 3 of us here. It is gonna be really fun. There might be some people online, and that is a collective, training. So, bring your computers too, because it can be interactive, when we go in there, and set up some of those smart plans if you would like. Yeah.
Ladies, do we have something set up for the required module, or is that something we should be working on?
We do.
Because we did a lot of people did everything except for the required module in that 2 days.
We're doing it on the last day of family reunion in Vegas. We're gonna extend-
Together.
I'm serious, the heart attack.
We should.
I signed up to take it at Minneapolis Lake. Julia Lachey is teaching it.
I put it on our
What?
Facebook group and now I'm drawing a blank on the date, but it is on our private Facebook group is the
Julius?
lake, class. I can't think of the date, but it is at the Lake South Fest.
Month.
I'm sorry, it's, I think it's March or April.
I love you. I think it's in Puerto Vallarta and Vegas, if you guys want it, right?
Also, why not do it in a place you like it?
This is true, this is true.
But I'll repost it and resend it out so that you have the information, okay?
Thank you. Reminder, we have family reunion. It was really interesting. We were at a regional, conference yesterday. And all of our regional leadership was there. And their take on family reunion, and this is the only thing I'm gonna say, is a lot of people say they can't afford it this year. And what Todd Butzer said is, that's interesting, because how are you gonna afford it next year if you don't get the tools in place to move your business forward? And I think that's a really important thing to think about, because if you don't start going to some of these things that are higher minded trainings, I can guarantee you're not gonna shift your mindset and you're not gonna shift your ways, because you don't have to, right? You're not introduced to it. So when he said that yesterday, that was the only thing I thought anyone needed to know. When it's, hey, I can't afford it now, you're not gonna be able to afford it a year from now either. So it's your decision on that piece of it, of where you want your business to go. And I will leave it at that, because I'm very passionate when he said that. And there are quite a few people that are signed up for it. So, and if you do sign up and want some introductions to other agents across the country or specific things that you're looking for, let me know, because we can do that. We do have an agent again, that's gonna be speaking on a panel there, and now he knows I'm saying that, unlike last time when I shared it. So also go to support our agent. I mean, Jose is gonna be leading that portion of it, and it's gonna be really fun to watch that, as well as him connecting with other agents too. Any questions around that?
Keynote speaker is Tony Robbins.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's cool. And we found out it costs a lot of money to get. I was like, huh, interesting. What's next? Okay, you guys, yes, again, we are going back to the basics today. So you might love this meeting or you might not love this meeting, and either way, we're doing it. So we talked about who we are, right? And as a region, I think it was Jen Lewis who said that we kind of, during COVID, we went away from who we are as a company, right? A lot of people did. It was this shift. We weren't integrated with each other. We kind of all lost it. Not just in real estate, other companies as well, right? They lost the culture. They lost what they were stand for. Everything shifted in a weird way. And bringing that back, they just talked about kind of what our mission, our values, and our beliefs are, right? How many people could actually recite any of the things that Keller's, like our mission, vision, and beliefs? Besides Wendy. Okay, no one, and that's okay, right? But that's on us as leadership, that we have not expressed what we are as a company. Or what we stand for, or what our value proposition is, because that's super important, right? Not just as us as an office, but why are you here at Keller? And maybe that's a live question. Why are you here at Keller Williams? Does anybody want to share?
The community.
Okay, who else?
Lack of egos.
Okay. What else?
Collaborative.
Okay. Why else are you at Keller Williams? This is a really easy one.
The tools and training for the success.
Okay? Two more.
Does it,
Culture.
it provides the, educational resources I need to keep learning and the, marketing resources that I need to do a good job selling the houses for my clients.
Okay, so all these things are fair, right? I know you guys are all getting a ton of recruiting calls, as I do the same thing. And I think it made me think of, what am I saying to people that I want to be in business with, right? Who do I want to be in business with? There are people that I meet with that I'm like, I don't want them to join. Like, please do not join this office, right? Just like you have clients, I hope that you're like, if they're really rude or someone that you don't want to work with, you're like, you're not my client. Why? Because there's standards and we stand for something. And part of that is right here, right? So our mission as a company, if you didn't know, is to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth living. How many of us have heard that before? Right? But we don't talk about it a lot. We've heard it, but I don't know if it's completely ingrained in us what that means. When you read that, what does that mean to you? To build careers worth having. Worth your time? There was a stat yesterday that was brought out that 70% of each brokerage does no deals for the year. 70% of the agents in each brokerage do not do one deal, okay? That's across the nation. And when we're sitting here and we say our mission is careers worth having, if you don't do a deal, is that a career? No, and that saddens me, right? Because my job is to see the potential in you, to help you find that potential and build the career that you want, right? So what does that look like to you? Could be different, right? Some people are like, I just want to do 3 deals a year. Awesome, fantastic. Summer, I want to do 100. Summer, I want to do 500. And there's zero judgment in that. But I don't want to be, and I hope you guys don't want to be, the office that has 70% of people that don't do a deal. Do you guys want to be that office? Okay. What about, well, that's kind of with businesses worth owning. However, with businesses worth owning, I think that's an interesting topic because you can have a career, but what does having a business mean? Like a business worth owning. What does that mean to you guys?
Profitable.
It's profitable. Okay. I think that's number one, right? Because we all have people that we know, or maybe it's even ourselves, and that's okay, because I've been there too. Where I'm watching the commissions come in and I'm watching them go out just as fast. And then when I think about what the profit is, there is no profit, right? Because I'm waiting for that next check to come in so that I can pay off a bill or I can go on vacation or I can do what I was going to do. That's not necessarily a business. You're being very transactional and there's zero profit. And that's okay that there might be profit, like ebbs and flows, right? But you have to be aware of what that looks like to actually own a business. Lives worth living. What's that mean to you? Purpose.
Understanding what your why is.
Okay. Happiness. Okay. What else?
Being able to do the things you want to do when you want to do them.
I think this is an interesting one. Lives worth living. I would say 8 out of 10 appointments I have, people get into this business for what?
Money.
No.
Freedom.
Freedom. They get in this business for freedom, but what's freedom? Is freedom not having money and just a ton of time? Because I don't think that's freedom. Right? But that's really the reason why people get in the business. They're like, I'm switching because I want the freedom. What I don't think we understand with Lives Worth Living is the freedom is earned through the discipline of your business, right? Like, the freedom doesn't just come. Real estate is not this huge moneymaker without having discipline and working really hard. Can we all agree on that? I mean, how many of us worked really hard the last 3 years, 5 years, 1 year, however long you've been in this business? But it took a while to actually get ahead. Would you guys agree? Like, the big paychecks seem awesome, but it took a while to make that really worth it, to start living the things that you wanted to live. Would you agree? Okay. What about experiences worth giving? What's that mean to you? We hear this same thing a million different ways, right? It's make $1 million, give $1 million, like we hear it in all these different situations. So what does that mean to you?
On like the client side, make sure that their experience is a positive one, especially if like your goal isn't to get them paycheck at the end, because you have confidence. It's like, that will come across, you're not do anything that you're like.
You're educating them so they make their own decisions, right? Which is a lot better experience than selling someone on something, right? What else does that mean to you?
The quote always sticks with me that money is good for the good it can do. So it's like, well, what are we doing to then like give back or help our communities? And maybe that is through home sales.
I think that's another thing that I come across a lot, right? When you're coaching is, it's not about the money for me. Okay. What is it about? I like to help people. I want to give back. I want to do this, 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 and this. How are you going to do that? It's through money, right? Like, no matter what you do, there is money needed. Our government, our country, it's a business and there's money. We don't just, trade goods and services without an actual currency, whether or not it's Bitcoin for Tony or it's actual currency. But that's true, right? So giving those experiences costs something. Even if it's your time, that's time of you not making money, right? Does anybody give back to anything right now? Any specific nonprofits? I know there are more than 2 of you in here that give back. Okay. What about legacies worth leaving? What does that mean to you? I can think of one very specific to this office. What's the thing that we give out every single month?
Profit share.
Nope.
Culture.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
If you want to talk about leaving a legacy, right? When you have something that's handed out every single month in your name because they left an imprint on an office, okay, that's a legacy. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't have kids, I don't have this. That doesn't matter. It's about all of the other people's lives that you touch, and we still have him touching it every single month, right? And we talk about it. And then we think of someone that reminds us of what he did. That's legacy. Right?
That's the key, is that award is not about how awesome Joe is, and that's not what Joe would want. That award is about how much of an incredible impact he had on so many people. And that's the legacy that I'd like to leave behind too, is that who cares about the person? It's about the effect, what that person was able to do in other people's lives. And it's pretty amazing. And that's why so many of us, still have a heart for Joe and what he left behind, because he impacted so many people in a positive way. I think we should be encouraged to do that every day. The reason to wake up and want to do this particular job.
I think that's also what sets us apart from any other brokerage, right? And each office can be different, but that sets us apart from all of the fancy reels and all of the other things, right? Because that's all great and good. But that's the kind of stuff that means more, right? And I have no idea what Joe's production or what his production was, right? I wasn't here at that time. None of that matters. But what matters is he made people feel a certain way. And do you think he felt successful? Do you think he probably was a successful person? Probably, right? Because he was able to give back in every single way, monetarily, time-wise, and just being a good human. So what I would encourage us all to do is actually look at this more often. And maybe I put this up every single team meeting, maybe we have it up on the screens, but I think it's worth it when we sit there in the days and we're like, we're doing all the things and nothing is working, right? Because I don't believe that that's true. And neither does Wendy, right? Like, but there's times where you think it, or you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, why, right? Read that part of it. Or when you see someone else that, you know, is having trouble, remind them of it. That's why we're here as a group. Like, we don't succeed alone, right? Okay. Here's the fun part. Come on, head. Is it? It is. It's really fun. So yesterday also, you guys are gonna either just roll your eyes at me, which is fine, but we're still doing it. And then you guys are gonna do it. So if you are able, stand up, please, because we're gonna go through our belief system. And yes, I would like everyone to participate.
And there's a dance.
It's a dance, okay?
I got a call coming
So
in.
you gotta do whatever, do that. So we're gonna go through this.
Yeah, we are. We're gonna dance.
Okay, I need you on board here.
I'm
Okay.
in. I'm in.
All right, so number one, win-win or no deal. What does that mean?
Do the right thing.
Do the right thing. All right, so with that, you're gonna go win or no deal. Do the right thing.
Well, integrity. It's integrity is the next one. You gotta.
It's just jumping ahead, no deal.
Integrity.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, win-win, no deal. That's why Heather's up here. Yep, it's it. Okay, what's the second one? Integrity. Integrity, do the right thing. I don't see you dancing.
I don't know.
You gotta. Win, no deal. Integrity, do the right thing. Okay? Customers always come first. Customers.
And then
Always come first.
Is that it?
No,
Okay.
customers always come first.
a U-turn.
Yeah, yeah,
We do.
we did. We watched it. Always come first. Okay, so this one's commitment. In all things. Let's do that one again. Commitment. In all things. Communication. So it's seek first to understand. Okay? Well, you gotta try it first to remember it. First to understand. Okay? Creativity, ideas before results.
Sorry.
Result.
Okay? Teamwork,
Before.
teamwork. Together, everyone achieves more. Again, teamwork, together, everyone achieves more. Okay? Trust. Trust, yeah. Trust starts with honesty. Julia says, ain't be lying. That's what she said.
No lying.
Honesty starts with. Yeah, okay. Equity,
Sign language E.
opportunity for all. And then success is a big S, right? Do the whoosh through people. Okay? We're gonna run through this one more time. We're gonna do this every single time unless we do bucket share so amazing. We won't do it anymore. Got it? I'm waiting for Derek. So either way, we're gonna be uncomfortable.
Yeah, we're in there.
What'd you say?
And squat down.
All right, I'll come to your office and do it, right?
That's called honesty.
I'm never coming back. All right, win-win or no deal. Integrity, do the right thing. Customers always come first. Commitment in all things. Communication, seek first to understand. Creativity is ideas before results. Teamwork, together we achieve more.
Everyone achieves more.
Right? And equity is opportunities for all. Success Zero people.
You don't know.
Anyway, and that's fine, okay? The point of it is, right, is that this is truly what we're built on, right? Nobody wants to do that dance. I don't even want to do that dance, right? But at the same time, it's the point of going through it and actually realizing what that means, right? Because at some point in the day, you're gonna be like, man, I do not like her at all. I'm never coming to the meeting again if she did this thing, right? Like, whatever it is. But to be fair, do you practice those like on a daily basis in real estate? I'm gonna say probably yes, right? So when you're thinking of negotiations, win-win or no deal, at any point in time, if you're just like overpowering the other agent, what happens? What happens to that transaction? Does it even become a transaction? Probably not, right? How many of us, if you don't have integrity and you get caught up in a line of transaction, trust goes out the window, right? So these are all, the dance is funny, kind of dumb, but these are all very real things that we should be using every single day in our business and probably just in our lives in general, right? And our company has made it truly a part of their mission statement, and we go through it often. And we all had to do that yesterday. And let me tell you, the first time that I had to do it, I was like, this is so dumb. And then now I'm like, let's be kind of dumb together. Right?
Teamwork.
I can send out the video of Mark King doing it so you guys can practice before.
And anyone that wants to do a fun reel with me on it, I'm all in, okay? We can do bloopers and everything. All right, so, next up, just being really transparent, right? And as we're going through all of this, part of this as a recap, if anybody reads the newsletters that I send out, awesome. If you don't, take a look at them. Because really we're at the end of January, right? So we are 1/3 done with Q1. And we all have probably really big goals that we set in October, November, and December. How many of us right now are reflecting on where we're at tracking with our goals? Okay, a few people. How many of us are ahead of our goal right now or like on pace with it? One, two people? Okay, so the 3 people. The rest of us are off pace, right? And that's okay. Obviously, there are a ton of people that are. But what I would say with that, and what was kind of mentioned in there is seeing where your gaps are so that you can become on pace in the next month, next 2 months, next 3 months, right? Because I'm guessing you probably put your plan as a 12-month plan. Like, I need this many transactions each month. And if we didn't hit that this month, we need to add them somewhere. And whether or not that's in February, March, April, we've got to account for those to be able to keep moving forward. Is that a fair thing to say? Okay, so for us, our GPS again, this whole year, we are just gonna have our goals and our intentions kind of in your face. Why? Because I think it's important that your own goals are in your own face, right? So if I'm leading by example and we're leading by example as an office, and we're talking about these numbers and we know them, when you ask, that's what I'd like you guys to be able to do when you run your business, right? So we want 50% of our agents with 200 plus contacts, 55% of our agents in production each month, which is outpacing the 70% that is the average for every other brokerage. Closed units, we have 1,200, listings taken 650. We want 6 accountability groups to grow 60 agents and grow 4 cappers within and obtain a $75,000 profit. Part of this goal is set not just on my goals. Obviously, it's set on the entire leadership's goals, but my appointment goal for the year is 480. My gross is 60 agents. The net is actually 15. And then monthly, our company dollar is 54,652, and our profit to make that is 6,250. Right now, I am pacing at 38, which was too short of the goal for the month. We wanted 8 agents in. We have 2 agents in, and we lost 2 agents. Our company dollar was goal is 54,652, and we're at 34,053, which is obviously gonna leave us with no profit or potentially a negative profit depending on where our broker admins are. My dials were to be 1,000 for the month. That's at 1,058. My contacts were supposed to be at 400 and they're at 359. So I made the activities goals of mine. However, the results goals are gaps, right? I have a 41-person gap for contacts and I have a 2-appointment gap for the appointment side of it. I know that at every single point in time when you ask me, and if you want to see, ask me every day, because I would love that accountability, right? Because that's important to me. And it's not just important to me, it's important to this market center, because that's the way that we're going to grow. That's the way that we're going to learn more, and we're going to have other agents to be able to share their experiences with us. Do you guys have questions around that at all? No questions? How do you feel about that?
Working.
What do they say, agents with 200, over 201 contacts in their database and have smart plans set up and everything make over $100,000 a year on average? Is that what they say?
Yeah, and really the part of
the neighborhood nurture.
the part of this is not, it's not about us, right? It's about, I want to see other people sharing that with me. I would love to have a community here that when I go up and I say to Bethany, right, hey, you said your contact goal was this, this, and this, where are you at? Right? Because that doesn't feel, if someone comes to ask me that, doesn't feel defensive to me. It feels like I want to be able to share that. I also want to be able to share the struggles that I have in it, right? My contact goal, right? That's a struggle right now. I get a ton of voicemails, or the people that I'm following up with just ignore my phone calls because they know my number, right? And we all do that. Or it's just a really tough conversation to set some appointments currently, right? So that is what I would love to see happen, is that we know each other's goals and we're supporting them. Right? So whoever wants to be in on that, or even it's like, hey, silently, I'd love for you to check in on me. Let me know, right? I mean, the other day you actually came to the office and the door was open or something. And you're like, how you doing on these goals? And I was like, shut the door. And I like started making calls, right? Like, that's fun to me. Because at that moment, like, we were at a leadership thing and, you know, everyone was like, she doesn't make that many calls. And Lydia was like, yes, she does. I record them every single day. And that's what's fun, is like, people are all part of the goal. Like, if I was just sitting there in my office doing it on my own, and I probably wouldn't do it on my own because it's not as fun. It's not as fun as it probably wouldn't also push me, to be completely honest. Does anybody else want that feeling? Right? It makes you feel supported. It makes you feel successful with each other. Like, it's fun. It's fun to have that energy. Like, I want to hear the successes. That makes me want to do more. Anyone else get that feeling?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Anybody want to share where they're at? No, we're not there yet. Cool.
I think I was just shy of my contact goal for this month.
Okay.
I was trying to hit 100 contacts and I was pretty consistent, but this last week I didn't hit it.
Okay.
So I
Awesome.
was short.
Tony, did you put in quite a few listings this month? Tony?
11. There was 11 of them, right?
What I showed.
Yeah, those ones that go pending at Alphabeta,
Yeah, but
but those are pre-sold
I
probably.
don't know.
Pre-sold, a couple pre-solds.
Who else? Who's having a challenge or has a gap that has questions about it, that's willing to share? I'm not, yeah.
You know, I was asked to do that broker thing, you know, on Monday. I
Yeah.
actually didn't realize you guys were in the other room listening, like, duh.
The whole time.
I know.
I
I said,
was like feverishly taking notes.
no, so what's the gentleman's name? Jason? So
John.
John, yeah, John interviewed,
Good rapport.
yeah, it was perfect, but yeah, so John interviewed me and it was interesting because I didn't know exactly what.
So one second, what he's talking about is all the team leaders, end up doing mock, so we really truly live by example. We do mock appointments every other week. So each team leader takes a crack at a mock appointment live. The other team leaders are watching it as it's happening in the conference room, right? So we're going through a needs analysis with agents within our offices. So Rick was one of them. Tony's been one as well. So,
Thank you. And so what he said was interesting, because I didn't know if I was helping them or he was helping me, but obviously he ended up helping me quite a bit. Because he asked, one of the questions he asked, tell me about your goals for this coming year. Like, what's your most important goal? And I said, prospecting 5 days a week. And he said, wow, that's interesting, because typically the goal starts with your GCI and then you work backwards. And I said, yeah, I've been doing this for so long and that's what my goals have always been. And this last year it didn't work. So we started talking about it and he started kind of walking through, like, what's the most important thing for you to do in order to get to a point where you can block 10 to 11:30 every day to prospect, and then 10:30 to 11 to fill in command from the prospecting. And as we walked through that, I realized something entirely new, in what I needed to do to reconfigure my schedule to actually make it work. So that was 45 minutes with somebody, and that's gonna change the way that I do everything for the rest of the
he
year.
was talking about what's important and urgent
Mhm.
and important and
Yeah,
not.
he had some
urgent,
square thingy
right?
with.
So a lot of times we feel and we categorize things as important and urgent that are not, but that's where we categorize them, right? Whereas lead generation is not urgent, but it's important, right? And that's not as fun. Like, it's not as fun to do because that's usually a consistent thing that you have to do to move your business forward. Whereas what we respond to is the small things that you feel like are urgent. And if you give them time, they will probably work themselves out, right? Because what you were saying is, well, I've got this, this, and this, or I might make an appointment through this, this, and this. And really, you're not understanding what lead gen means to you. For it being your number one thing, that time should be sacred to you.
Yeah.
Like, do not touch that time in my calendar. And if you do, it is going to be replaced somewhere else. And when you get to that point in your business, everything else is going to work itself out. Like, it truly will, because when that is never the thing that you don't do, there's no way it can, unless you honestly don't know how to talk to humans. Like, it has to work itself out.
And to add to that, from a value standpoint, that for me to make it, urgent, and what was the other, important and urgent?
Yep.
So to me, to make it, that's significant. It can't just be to earn new business. It actually, the thing that's more important to me is the fact that I've worked with these people, developed relationships with them, and then don't touch base with them for long periods of time. That's just stupid. I mean, that just makes no sense. If I care about them, why would I not be reaching out to them and talking to them? So there's that responsibility and accountability from a relationship standpoint that takes so much precedence that it kind of like adds or doubles the reasoning to actually be doing the prospecting on a daily basis.
Well, it's truly living the mission and the purpose that you say that you're in this business, for, right?
Yeah.
And that's just, it's practicing it. It's not just saying it. It's not just writing it down. It's living it every single day that you're working.
Most importantly, Kami, the whole moral of this whole story is 45 minutes with one person can make a big difference. And that opportunity is available to all of us with different leaderships and, different people, whether they've been in the business or it's an accountability partner. Those are the things that really can make a difference and fill that gap you were talking about.
You were also open to doing something differently
True,
than you've done before.
absolutely.
I think most of us get stuck in a spot. Won't make the change.
It was great. It was also fun to watch. I mean, when Tony did it, I was the one doing the mock interview. And that was fun too.
It was great.
It was really good. He just sits there and laughs because someday you'll share. Someday you'll share on how that went and what changed.
Sure.
Maybe. All right. Do you find this valuable? This might not be as much market based, right? And this is not going to be every single meeting, but I think this part of it's important. right? Knowing your numbers, knowing what we stand for, and us truly leading by example as a market center. And at any point in time, I hope when someone's struggling, you know, similar to what Rick said, like, I want to say it's not scary meeting with me. But I seem like that's like the common theme, but really truly I'm there to help, right? I'm there to help consult and ask the tough questions that probably other people aren't willing to ask you. And there has to be trust there though, for it to work, right? There has to be trust and there has to be some vulnerability and openness to it. Because otherwise it becomes a weird relationship or a weird situation. So when you're ever ready for that, I do meet with quite a few of you on a regular basis. And I think it helps. So if you're willing or wanting to do that, again, always feel free to reach out for it.
I just also like that, if anyone wants to join an accountability group or even lead one, if you'd please reach out to Amy and I, we'd really like to get some more started in the market center and they really, the agents going to those accountability groups have success. So they're important and we'd like to get some more of those in our market center.
It's a really hard place to be when you're in something like an accountability group or coaching. To show up and not do the things that you said you were going to do or move your business forward, right? Because at that point in time, it becomes a conversation, is this for you? And that's an okay conversation too, right? Because then it also alleviates whatever pressure you're putting on yourself. Because let's be honest, it's not always the right place for people. And maybe it's, you have to shift into a team or you have to shift into something different. So you're not stuck. You're not stuck ever. And usually find you'll get unstuck when you're being supported with other people. So.
I wanted to say just that, I don't know if we've officially announced this, but I know she sent out an email that Kelly Zwilling is our new tech ambassador. And so she's available to help with anyone. So, you know, we are too. Candy, myself, Lydia, we're all able to help with some smart plans and things like that. But Kelly is our tech ambassador and we also have a regional tech trainer that's also always available to help. So if you guys need any help with plans, smart plans, anything, just come to us and we will lead you in the way to go. Cannot help you ourselves.
Okay, so I want 3 ahas before we go into wants and needs today. Did you guys learn anything? Take anything from this meeting? No, I'm just gonna walk out.
Let's get some sure.
It's hard.
I have a new dance.
Yeah.
A new game.
I'm gonna dance move for the club. Sorry, I'm just picturing it in my head.
One of the things that I've always been doing business as professional realtors, with other agents, there's so many agents that in this business think that when you're repping a buyer, or you're repping a seller, that when you get that purchase agreement one way or the other, that all of a sudden there's this battle. Me trying, you know, but that's the mindset of, you know, when you get in the business, it's I'm gonna get the best for my client and as a seller, you're gonna get the best for your client. And our win-win mindset at Keller Williams in that when we come together with agents, I mean, praise the other agent on the other side for doing his job the best he can do. And hey, our job is to get this deal done. That's our job. And as the professionals in this transaction, so how can we, you know, come together on this and not work against each other to basically blow the deal up? I mean, with that mentality, every time you get a purchase agreement, whether you're on the seller side or the buyer side, have the mindset of calling that agent on the opposite side, you know, and praising and thanking them. How, you know, how can we work together so that our clients are happy because they both got, you know, the deal done.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, you're working for the client. I think there's too many times where the emotions get involved between agents as if it's your house you're selling or it's your house you're buying. It is not. It is not your decision in any of those. We've all been on the phone where it's like, oh yeah, they'll do that. How do you know that? We just talked about it and I know you didn't talk to your client. So you cannot say that, right?
You can also be in a relationship so deep with that person where you already know, we've already had
Yes,
15
yes, you can.
conversations about that.
You absolutely can.
Where you do already know.
Yep, but there are situations, right, where it's like, I'll talk them into that. I mean, we've all been in those situations. I know, I mean, agents that are like, you know what, I'll just make it work. We'll get it done, right? but you really have to go back to the client, right? The two agents should be working together at all points in time.
Again, you're the professional, your client on both sides hired you to be a professional and to make this transaction happen. That's our job. Our job is to, buyer's agent is to make a transaction happen. Our job is to sell it, to make a transaction happen. And so sometimes, there is definitely be the professional, be the coach to your buyer, to your seller, and telling them, I know you're emotions getting into this thing, but, here's what, as a professional, this is the way we need to think to get, ultimately, you hired me for the reason of making a transaction happen. I'm helping you make that transaction happen and working together with the other side, not trying to fight against the other side.
Sometimes in rare instances, we actually have to unwind it for their best.
What else? What's another aha? Wendy?
I don't know that it's as much an aha, but more of an affirmation. Number one, just the example that, don't start with me. But just the necessity of leading by example, of knowing your numbers, of knowing exactly how many calls have you made, how many appointments have you gone on, how many contracts do you need to make the goals to make your life work? And that's just, I like that you guys are doing that and being transparent with it and setting the example, and I think that's great. And then as far as accountability groups go and that kind of thing, I heard a statement recently that said, in life, you don't get what you want, you get what you're committed to. And that's a big difference, is what are you committed to? And having people that help you, encourage you, and also ask you the hard questions, so that you can identify what you're committed to and stay the course so that you get what you want.
I think what Tony mentioned is it's hard to be open to change and changing, you have to be open to change, and that's hard because for me, speaking from experience, I'm pretty stubborn, and so.
Really?
Yeah. And so, I'm just trying to be open to doing more, and that's been really good, so, I don't know. Whoever needs to hear that, there you
Good
go.
work, buddy.
Gold star.
Takes one to know one.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Anybody else? All right, let's do wants and needs. Who's got buyers, that need, as a need, or any new listings that are coming up?
I'm working with a buyer right now, and we're looking for a home in Lincoln Hills, 4-bed,
At least got one she wants to sell.
Here?
Are you moving, Keith?
Linden Hills.
You guys just want me to move.
We
You just
work
want me to
out
be
something.
closer to you.
4+ beds, 3+ bathroom.
We only got 2.
Their budget is up to 1.5, and they're looking for something that's that's under 4,500 square feet, but not super small, so. Can build it, they don't wanna do that, I've already talked to them.
So if you build it, they will.
Can
What else?
you get it done in 6 months?
No.
Maybe.
5 months.
No, I'm gonna answer that. Remember, integrity starts with honesty. Totally kidding. What else?
Our record's 71 days.
It depends on where it is though, because sometimes it's not the builder,
Wow,
it's like inspections and everything else,
We've got a listing
usually
coming on.
quite
Is
honestly.
it still standing?
Well, your house.
With
yours.
All right, what do you got there?
That's fine.
Oh, we've got a listing coming on, it's on Lake Martha, it's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath split, a 5-car garage, it's on 1.88 acres, 650. It goes on this weekend, so there's not a whole lot of time for free stuff.
What did you say, 8 acres?
Okay.
1.8.
1.8.
Anything else?
I've got a 4-bedroom, 2-bath in Brooklyn Center. It's gonna be coming soon on Monday, live on Thursday, next Thursday. And then an open house that weekend. It's been meticulously maintained.
What style, is it a Rambler? Rambler?
What'd you say?
289.9 is what we're gonna.
All right, any other ones sent to Lydia and she will, Shane?
No, it's okay.
No, go.
I just have a two-story Plymouth, 5,700 square feet, 1.1 coming up, multi-build. I've got, one on Knox in South Minneapolis, gonna be 500. And then that one in Cathcart will be coming on next week in Sherwood.
Lot, on Cathcart.
0.6 acres. Yeah, not subdividable unless you get a massive variance.
You could do something with that one. I looked at that one.
That's where I grew up. So I know exactly where it is.
In Astor Circle with those new
Yeah.
ones down the street.
That's where I grew up.
Anything else?
Please remember to send those to me.
Yep.
If you want people
Yeah.
in the email that goes up to the entire office,
Yeah.
they need to be sent to
Yeah.
Lydia.
I don't just forget every Wednesday. No one sends me anything, so I don't have anything to send out.
we
So
do.
please send them
We
to
know
me.
we have them.
Awesome. Go have a great day. And don't forget about the 66-day challenge. Put your name in there when you're lead genning for at least an hour. $500. I'm gonna put my name in. I heard it.
Let's should go say it's like 500.
That's just a prospect
Contest. We did it yesterday. And then,